Now, I'm watching it. I'm entertained by it. I don't know why I'm entertained by it, but I am. And I see Tyson smack Jake Paul. And I immediately thought, ooh, they need some hype to this fight for some reason. Or is Mike not picking up his end of the hype machine because it feels like it's been Jake Paul, and then we'll get a couple of workout videos with Mike Tyson. And Tyson's done some interviews, but Jake Paul seems to be carrying this. And then I started to wonder, because people are rooting for Mike Tyson to knock this guy out. And my thought was, Jake Paul doesn't care if you hate him. He wants you to pay to hate him. That's all he cares about. He wants you tuning in so you can see Mike Tyson knock him out. Jake Paul is the favorite this fight tonight, and we'll talk to a reporter who's covering this fight in Dallas. It's going to be big. It'll be a big box office. You know, and I go back to when Conor McGregor was fighting Floyd Mayweather, and I put that in parentheses. It would have been a lot more interesting if Floyd would have tried to be UFC as opposed to Conor McGregor, who's not a great fighter, was going to fight probably the best tactician who's ever gotten in the ring. It just wasn't any fun. And Floyd Mayweather is not an exciting fighter. He just is great at what he does. This is Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson. Now, granted, there's a 30-year separation here, but we all think about, when you say Mike Tyson, it's like, oh, one punch. And Seton was asking me how many fights of Mike that I saw, and I said I think between 6 and 8. And I think all of them except for one were first-round knockouts. And you just got accustomed to that. You had to be in your seat because it was going to end quickly. Whether it was Michael Spinks or Joe Frazier's son, I was ringside for those. I was 3 rows back for those. And that, once again, you get a heavyweight title fight. And that's not what this is. But when you have that anticipation where 2 guys are going in, chances are one guy is going to walk out on his own power. There's nothing like it. Nothing. And all the sporting events I've ever been to, when Mike would walk into the ring, and I've said this before, it's as if he left the car running. I'm going to knock you out, and then I'm going to go party. And usually that's what would happen. But Mike looks good, and there's 8 rounds, 2 minutes per round. So, you know, that extra minute, fighters will tell you, that extra minute, you know, when you're going to put on 14-ounce gloves and you're going to get in there and you're going to go 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a long time. If you've never just had boxing gloves on and sparred with somebody or done the speed bag, it's a long time. And that's what I worried about with Mike, that if it was 3 rounds or 3 minutes per round, Mike's hands would start to droop a little bit, and then Jake Paul would probably knock him out. But I think we're all rooting for Mike Tyson. I just don't want to see him knocked out. You know, you see these guys. I first met Mike in 1986. I want to continue to have, you know, we still see the Buster Douglas punch. We watched it this morning when Mike's reaching for his mouthpiece. You don't want to remember him that way, but Buster was the better fighter. You know, Mike is a knockout specialist. And we've said before on this show, if you box Mike, you can beat Mike. Because once he got past that second or third round, he knew he was in trouble. That's why he could never beat Holyfield or Lennox Lewis. They were great boxers. Mike is not a great boxer. But if he hits you, you're going down. Yes, Marv.
In real time, in February 1990, when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, like, what was the reaction when you told somebody or somebody told you what happened during that Tyson-Douglas fight?
Well, I'm at SportsCenter, and I remember nobody was sending anybody to Japan to watch that, to cover that. Because it's like Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas? Eric Clemens was a sports anchor, reporter for the mothership. And we sent him. Well, thank God we did, because he covered one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. I don't think anybody thought that Mike was going to lose to Buster Douglas, because up to that point, Buster Douglas was just a big guy, had talent, but, you know, not much more than that. And he caught Mike, and that was it. Caught him. But I think I just want to see a good fight. competitive fight, or at least the best they can. And I'm with you if you said the following. Oh, that slap looked staged. It did. It looked staged. Like, I would like for one of those guys to punch somebody. Like, not slap. And did Jake Paul step on Mike's foot? Did Mike show up in socks to the weigh-in? He had his Speedo on, and I don't know. Those things are always weird. Like, men really, 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 really close to one another. I don't think I've ever been that close to a man before. But in boxing or UFC, I'm going to get so close to you. I'm going to smell your breath. I'm going to look into your eyes. I'm going to pound you. And plus the language that they say to one another, what they're going to do to each other, it's like, that's weird. But Jake Paul, Mike Tyson coming up tonight. Plan accordingly.